Hey everyone, Phil here from Proven. I just want to talk about why founders should build working prototypes before they even design a new feature. So most product features fail not because they were built badly, but because the wrong thing was built entirely. And the brutal part is nobody realizes it until months or weeks of engineering time has already been spent. I want to show you the process change we've made at Get Proven that's saving us a huge amount of time, and it comes down to a simple shift. You build a working prototype first before you write a single line of requirements. And so here's how it used to work. And companies still do this today. The founder or a product manager has a new idea for a feature. They describe it, the product team asks questions, they try to capture as much detail as possible. You might go to customers and ask them if they'd use this. That then translates into a design. Design goes into Figma. Figma goes to the front-end team builds it. Back-end team also builds it, and then you release it. And then someone says, hold on, what happens if that list is empty? What if a user has 500 items? And how does this work with a different screen size? So that's months of work, and the thing that was missing was never going to show up in a wireframe. And so what we've learned is that Figma gives you a shape, but a working prototype shows you actual behavior and gives you ideas that you'd never really understand with using a static Figma file. So for example, behavior and will something actually work? So an idea we had for a feature, like even a couple of days ago, was could we detect how much money people were spending on vendors from their email? And so we vibe coded a very quick prototype, and we found out very, very quickly that even with the best AI, it's very, very difficult to detect how much money is spent from invoices in email. And so we said, okay, that's never going to work. But things like, where does a button go when there's no data? What happens when you click on a filter twice? How does pagination feel when you have 200 results versus 1,000? How are items sorted? So you can't answer those questions using a static design tool. The art of kind of clicking through something real and actually using it gives you a completely different class of problems. So the new process that we're looking at is when a product manager or a founder like myself has a new feature idea, the first thing I want to do is say, look, just go vibe code it, make a working prototype. It might take you a few hours, it might take you a couple of days, but it's worth it. So you can use Claude, you can use Replit, you can use Cursor, whatever you want. The point is, you want clean code. You just want a working, clickable thing that captures the idea. And then we sit down together and we use it. We click through it, we break it, we ask the hard questions. Does it work? Does it make sense for the user? Are people gonna even like this? How is the design? If the answer is no, that's great. We've saved weeks of engineering time. If the answer is yes, then we can also sit down and say, take it to a customer. Let the customer click through, let the customer feel it, see if it works for them. Then what we do is we take that prototype, and that's the foundation to write a really good requirements document. So detailed, specific edge cases, because we've already discovered most of them. Now it's not going to be 100% perfect, but it'll do a really good job. That requirements doc goes to the engineering team who build it properly. Not vibe coded, it's AI engineered with real architecture, real thinking, real testing, and real code quality. So the prototype is completely disposable, and that's the whole point. It's not a deliverable, it's just a thinking tool. You're using it to get clarity on what you actually want, which is a prototype that's cheap and quick before you invest serious engineering resources in building it. The old process is you spend a really expensive engineering time discovering cheap problems, and this process flips that completely. So if you're a product manager or a founder and you haven't tried vibe coding a feature before you spec it, try it once. You'll discover things about your own idea that you didn't even know, and your engineering team will thank you for it. I'm Phil, founder of Proven. This was useful. Follow us to see more on what we're building.